What if I told you that inside your own kitchen, there is something you probably consume every single day, believing it is completely harmless, when in reality, it may be acting like a slow poison. Something that, little by little, day after day, is quietly wearing down two of the most hardworking organs in your entire body. I'm Dr. Adrian Cole, and as a kidney specialist, I've spent years witnessing the heartbreaking effects this kind of damage has on my patients, especially adults who come to see me only when the problem is already far advanced. Today, I want to break that silence. But I'm not going to speak to you in complicated medical language. I'm going to explain this in a simple, direct way, as if you were sitting right here in front of me. I'm going to show you what I believe is the most dangerous hidden toxin affecting your kidneys without you even noticing. And the most disturbing part is this. There's a very good chance you already consumed it today. Maybe even this morning. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you will know what it is, why it is so destructive, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself before the damage becomes too great. Welcome, and thank you for spending a few minutes focusing on the most valuable thing any of us has. Our health. As a kidney doctor, my goal is not only to treat disease, but to help prevent it before it starts. And believe me, one of the most painful parts of my work is seeing good people full of life, suffer kidney damage that might have been prevented with the right information at the right time. The problem with the kidneys is that they are masters of silence. They do their work without complaining. They are the forgotten heroes of the human body. Picture the most sophisticated water purification system imaginable, running every hour of every day without stopping. That is what your kidneys are doing for you. They filter your blood, remove toxins, clear out waste, and get rid of extra fluid your body does not need. But that is not all. They also help regulate blood pressure, supports the production of red blood cells so you do not become anemic, and play an essential role in keeping your bones healthy and strong. They are the foundation beneath many of the body's most important functions. So what happens when this system begins to break down? The frightening part is that there is usually no loud warning, no alarm, no sharp pain that tells you something is wrong. Chronic kidney disease behaves like a thief. It arrives slowly, over years, and often when the first obvious signs finally show up: swollen ankles, constant fatigue that never seems to go away, muscle cramps. The damage may already be severe, and in some cases, permanent. I have seen so many older adults come into my office scared, overwhelmed, unconfused, suddenly facing dialysis or even a transplant. And the question they always ask is the same. Doctor, how did I not notice? The truth is painful, because in many cases, no one ever clearly warned them about the everyday substances and habits that were quietly undermining their health. That is why I am here, because knowledge gives you power, and today, I want to place that power in your hands. We are going to uncover several hidden enemies. I have arranged them in a list, from the more common ones to the one I consider the most dangerous of them all. So stay with me until the end, because what you learn today could truly change the direction of your health and your life. Before we begin the list, there is something very important you need to understand. As the years pass, we become more vulnerable to these toxins. Aging changes the rules. Just as vision changes and hair turns gray, the kidneys grow older too. Their filtering power, what we call the glomerular filtration rate, declines, little by little with each decade. Think of it like the engine of a car with many miles on it. It can still run, yes, but it no longer has the strength or resilience it had when it was new. Now imagine taking that older engine and, instead of giving it high-quality oil and good fuel, you feed it poor fuel and force it uphill every day. What happens? Exactly. It wears out faster. And that is precisely what many people do to their kidneys without realizing it. For 50 to 60 or 70 years, they expose them to habits and substances that may have seemed harmless in youth, but each exposure leaves behind a small mark, a tiny scar, and those scars build up. That accumulation is what can eventually lead to kidney failure. On top of DTHE, conditions like high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes become more common. And I want to be crystal clear here. These two diseases are the leading causes of chronic kidney disease around the world. They are like two relentless hammers striking the delicate structures inside the kidneys again and again. So anything that contributes to diabetes or worsens blood pressure is, by definition, a direct threat to your kidneys. Today, we are going to identify some of those threats clearly and without confusion. To make this easier to follow, I have prepared a list of 4 major poisons. We will begin with one that you do not eat or drink, but that can still do real harm. Then we will work our way upward until we reach number 1, the most dangerous, the most addictive, and the most widespread of them all. The true wolf hiding in plain sight. Let's begin. Poison number 4, a sedentary lifestyle. The still water that slowly suffocates your kidneys. The first poison on our list may surprise you, because it is not something you put in your mouth. It is something you failed to do. I'm talking about physical inactivity, sitting too much, moving too little, spending hour after hour in a chair, on a couch, in front of a television, or staring at a screen. You may be wondering, Doctor, what does sitting have to do with my kidneys? TNZOR is far more than most people realize. Your kidneys depend on strong, healthy blood circulation in order to work properly. Imagine a fast-moving river. The current stays strong, it carries waste away, and the water remains fresh and clean. Now picture a puddle of still water. Dirt gathers, things decay, and the water becomes stagnant and unhealthy. Your circulation is that river. When you move your body, when you walk, stretch, climb stairs, or simply avoid sitting for too long, your heart pumps more effectively, and blood travels through your body with force, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the millions of tiny filters inside your kidneys. That healthy flow helps them do their job efficiently. But when you remain seated for long periods, everything slows down. Circulation becomes sluggish, and that creates the perfect setting for the kidney's biggest enemies to take root: obesity, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. When you are inactive, your body handles blood sugar less effectively, which can contribute to insulin resistance and eventually diabetes. A sedentary life also makes weight gain more likely, and extra weight puts more strain on the heart and raises blood pressure. Every additional pound creates more work for the kidneys. The good news is that the solution is not extreme. You do not need to become a marathon runner or train like an athlete. You simply need to move more. Start by interrupting long periods of sitting. If you spend much of the day in a chair, begin with something very simple. Stand up once every hour. Set an alarm on your phone if you need to. Get up, walk through the house, stretch your arms, refill your glass of water. Even that small action helps reactivate circulation. Then add a daily walk. It does not need to be long. 10 minutes is a fantastic place to begin. Next week, make it 15. The secret is not intensity. It is consistency. Walking is one of the most effective forms of exercise for overall health. It supports the heart, helps control blood sugar, strengthens the body, and improves the blood flow your kidneys rely on. And if you have mobility limitations, there are still excellent options. Chair exercises, leg lifts, ankle circles, gentle arm movements, every bit counts. The rule is simple. Some movement is always better than none. Think back to the river. Every step you take helps keep that river flowing for your kidneys. Poison number 3. The false safety of common pain pills. Now we come to number 3. This one is hidden in plain sight. In medicine cabinets everywhere. It is the pill people take automatically for a headache, sore back, joint pain, or arthritis, flare-up. I'm talking about non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, also known as NSAIDs. Medications like ibuprofen, naproxen, and diclofenac are familiar to millions of people. Because many of them are easy to buy, people often assume they're harmless. But that assumption can be dangerously wrong. These medications can be very effective for pain. I am not denying that. But when they are taken frequently, for long periods, or in high doses, they can be especially harmful to the kidneys, particularly in older adults. Let me explain in simple terms. For your kidneys to receive a healthy blood supply, your body uses substances called prostaglandins. These help keep the tiny blood vessels leading to the kidneys open enough for blood to flow properly. The problem is that NSAIDs work by blocking those prostaglandins. That is part of how they reduce pain and inflammation. But they do not only block the ones involved in pain, they can also block the ones that help protect your kidneys. What happens then? The blood vessels to the kidneys narrow. Blood flow drops. Oxygen delivery falls. It is like stepping on a garden hose while trying to water a plant. The water no longer reaches it properly, and over time the plant begins to wither. The kidneys can suffer in much the same way. And the real danger is that this damage can occur quietly. Taking these pills every day for chronic pain is like squeezing that hose over and over again. Eventually, the kidney filters can become scarred and weakened. And because the process is gradual, many people do not realize what is happening until serious injury has already occurred. So, what is the answer? Should you just live with pain? Of course not. Quality of life matters. The solution is not to ignore pain, but to treat it wisely and with professional guidance. First, never make a habit of taking NSAIDs long-term without speaking to a doctor. If pain lasts for more than a few days, the goal should not simply be to keep masking it with pills. The goal is to understand what is causing it. It is not enough to silence the alarm. You need to find the fire. Second, always tell your doctor everything you are taking, including over-the-counter medications, supplements, vitamins, and herbal remedies. Many cold medicines and combination products contain hidden NSAIDs, and people often do not realize they are doubling up. Third, know that alternatives exist. For some kinds of pain, acetaminophen, also known as paracetamol, is often gentler on the kidneys when used correctly, and sometimes non-medication approaches can make a huge difference. Physical therapy, heat, cold packs, stretching, and other supportive treatments can reduce the need for pain pills. The key principle is this: NSAIDs are powerful drugs. Taking them occasionally may be reasonable. Relying on them every day, without medical supervision, can be a serious gamble with your kidneys. Poison number 2. Salt, the hidden enemy mixed into your food. Now we arrive at poison number 2. And in many ways, this is one of the most underestimated dangers of all. It is present in nearly every kitchen, and in an astonishing number of foods people eat every single day. I'm talking about salt, or more precisely, sodium. Many people tell me, "Doctor, I barely add any salt to my food." And that is where the misunderstanding begins. The biggest problem is often not the salt shaker on the table. It is the enormous amount of sodium hidden inside processed foods. More than 75% of the sodium people consume comes from packaged and processed products, not from the salt they sprinkle by hand. It is in bread, deli meats, cheese, canned soups, sauces, frozen meals, snacks, and countless products that do not even taste especially salty. The food industry relies on sodium to preserve products and make them more appealing. That is why I call it an invisible attacker. Why is this such a problem? Your body needs some sodium to function, yes, but when you flood the body with too much of it, balance is lost. To dilute all that sodium, your body begins to hold on to more water. You become thirstier. Your kidneys receive signals to conserve fluid instead of releasing it. The result is an increase in blood volume, and that pushes blood pressure upward. That is how high blood pressure develops or worsens. And hypertension is one of the leading causes of kidney failure. The filtering units in the kidneys are made of extremely delicate blood vessels. Imagine trying to rinse a fine silk fabric with a fire hose blasting at full force. You would tear it apart. That is essentially what high blood pressure does to your kidneys over time. It places constant stress on those fragile structures until they scar and lose function. It becomes a destructive cycle. So how do you protect yourself? You become a label detective. This does not mean your meals have to be bland or joyless. It means learning how to eat with awareness. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is reading nutrition labels. Turn the package over and look for the sodium content. You may be shocked to discover how much is hiding in foods like breakfast cereals, crackers, or cookies. In general, most adults should stay around 2,000 to 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. If you already have high blood pressure, a lower goal closer to 1,500 milligrams is often better. The second strategy is to cook more often at home, where you control what goes into your food. The third is to rediscover flavor beyond salt. Garlic, onion, black pepper, rosemary, oregano, cumin, paprika, turmeric, lemon juice, and vinegar can transform meals beautifully without loading your kidneys with sodium. And here is one more helpful trick. If you use canned vegetables or beans, rinse them well under running water. That simple step can wash away a significant amount of the added sodium. Within a few weeks, your taste buds begin to adjust. Foods that once seemed normal may suddenly taste overly salty, and the natural flavor of real food becomes much clearer. It is one of the most liberating changes you can make. The number one poison: sugar and refined flour, the sweet partnership, doing the greatest damage. And now we come to the final and most important part of this video. We have already talked about the inactivity, pain medications, and salt. All of them can harm the kidneys. But now I want to reveal what I consider the number one poison, the undisputed leader in silent destruction. The most addictive, the most common, and in my experience, the one tied to the most devastating long-term consequences. This poison is not some rare chemical with an unpronounceable name. It is something many people connect with comfort, celebration, and reward. I am talking about sugar and its constant partner, refined flour. Yes, sugar. And not only the obvious sugar in desserts and soda, but also white bread, pastries, cookies, sweet cereals, and refined pasta foods. Your body breaks down into sugar with incredible speed. In my years of practice, I have seen again and again how this combination fuels the very condition that is the number one cause of kidney failure worldwide: type 2 diabetes. This is the road I have watched too many patients travel, often without realizing where it was leading, until they eventually faced dialysis. Why am I so firm about this? Because sugar and refined flour do not attack from just one direction. They strike the body on multiple fronts at once. Attack number one: the direct road to diabetes. The leading cause of kidney failure is diabetes, and a diet overloaded with sugar and refined carbohydrates is one of the main drivers of type 2 diabetes. When you consume these foods, your blood sugar can surge rapidly. In response, the pancreas releases insulin to bring it down. But if this happens over and over, day after day, year after year, the body's cells begin to stop responding properly. That is, insulin resistance. And from there, type 2 diabetes develops. Once blood sugar stays chronically elevated, the kidneys begin to suffer. The filtering system becomes damaged. High glucose levels stiffen and injure those delicate filters until they no longer work properly. This is diabetic kidney disease, one of the most common paths toward dialysis. Attack number two: high blood pressure. For many years, salt got all the attention in the blood pressure conversation, and salt does matter. But now we understand that too much sugar can also drive blood pressure upward. In other words, even if someone cuts back on salt, a diet overloaded with sugar can still keep pushing blood pressure in the wrong direction. And when blood pressure stays elevated, the kidneys continue to pay the price. Attack number three: chronic inflammation. Excess sugar acts like fuel on a slow-burning fire inside the body. It promotes ongoing, low-grade inflammation that damages blood vessels throughout the body, including those supplying the kidneys. Inflammation may be silent, but its effects are not harmless. Over time, it contributes to deterioration across multiple systems. Attack number four: obesity and fatty liver. When you consume more sugar than your body can use, a large part of that excess gets stored as fat. This raises the risk of obesity, which is itself a major burden on the kidneys. It can also contribute to fatty liver disease, another condition that disrupts metabolism and makes it harder for the body to regulate blood sugar and inflammation properly. So as you can see, this is not a single problem. It is a full-scale assault. That is why I place sugar and refined flour at the top of the list. Now here is the hopeful part. This is something you can fight back against. The first step is awareness. Learn that sugar appears under many different names. On ingredient labels: corn syrup, dextrose, sucrose, maltose, fructose, and many more. Different names, same basic problem. The second step is removing the most obvious sources. Sugary drinks are one of the worst offenders. Soda, bottled juices, sweetened teas, flavored drinks. These are essentially liquid sugar. A single can may contain the equivalent of more than 10 teaspoons. Replacing those beverages with water, sparkling water with lemon, or unsweetened herbal teas may be one of the most powerful decisions you can make for your kidneys and your overall health. Third, be careful with products labeled low-fat. In many cases, manufacturers remove the fat and add sugar to keep the product tasting appealing. That means what sounds healthy may be doing the opposite. Whenever possible, choose the more natural version. Plain yogurt is a perfect example. Buy the unsweetened kind and add fresh fruit yourself if you want flavor. Fourth, start replacing refined flour with true whole food carbohydrates. Real whole grain bread, brown rice, oats, beans, and other fiber-rich foods help slow the absorption of sugar and reduce those dramatic spikes in blood glucose. And finally, return to real food. Vegetables, fruit, legumes, eggs, fish, meat, nuts, and minimally processed foods create a foundation where excess sugar and refined flour naturally take up less space. When you base your diet on real, whole foods, many of these harmful ingredients fade away almost automatically. Breaking free from sugar dependence is one of the strongest acts of protection you can offer your kidneys. We have covered a lot today, and every part of it matters. We exposed 4 silent poisons that threaten kidney health. Number 4, a sedentary lifestyle that slows circulation and opens the door to disease. Number 3, pain medications like NSAIDs, which can quietly reduce blood flow to the kidneys and damage them over time. Number 2, hidden sodium, which drives blood pressure up and strains the kidneys day after day. And number 1, sugar and refined flour, a destructive combination that fuels diabetes, hypertension, inflammation, obesity, and kidney failure. You may be feeling a little overwhelmed right now, and that is understandable. But my purpose is not to scare you. It is to wake you up and empower you. The truth may be uncomfortable, but it is also what gives us the ability to choose differently. Kidney disease does not have to be your future. These poisons are not beyond your control. You can decide to stand up and move more. You can decide to talk to a doctor before taking daily painkillers. You can decide to read the label before putting something in your cart. You can decide to choose water over soda. You can decide to make one better choice today, and then another tomorrow. This is not about transforming your life overnight. It is about steady, practical decisions. Every walk matters. Every home-cooked meal matters. Every time you choose a better option, you are building a layer of protection around your kidneys. Small changes, repeated consistently, can completely alter the course of your health story. If this video opened your eyes or made you think in a new way, I want to ask you to do something important. Share it. Send it to your children, your spouse, a friend, someone you care about. Life-changing information should never stay stuck in one place. And if you want more clear, practical health guidance that helps you protect your body before serious problems appear, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And now, I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below and tell me this. What surprised you most about what we discussed today? Was there something you had never heard before? Is there one habit you are ready to change starting now? I read your comments, and they helped me continue building a stronger, healthier community. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for giving this time to what matters most. Remember, your kidneys work for you every second of every day. Without asking for recognition, the least we can do is return the favor with better choices. I'm Dr. Adrian Cole, and from my heart, I wish you a long, healthy, active life. Take care of your kidneys, take care of your life. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.